All right, thanks for staying tuned. Now, schools play a crucial role in shaping young minds, and inclusion or exclusion of religious content in the curriculum must be handled with sensitivity, fairness, and respect for what I call it pluralism, right? While education should promote critical thinking, inclusivity, and cultural awareness, it must also uphold the principles of the secularism in context, where states and religion are constitutionally separate. So, I mean, to join us to have the conversation on striking the balance with the curriculum, right? Join is Abdul Hamid Balarabe Musa. He's the Assistant Program Manager, CAP, that's the Community Action for Popular Participation. Yes, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I want to quickly give a good short background. When I was growing up as a child, I was born and bred in Kaduna State. So I went to nursery, primary, secondary school in Kaduna State. And I remember so well that at the assembly ground, when people come, I mean, when we come to the assembly ground, you must say your morning prayers. So we'll say the Lord's Prayer. I would also say the Islamic prayer. Until date, I'm able to recite the Islamic prayer, right? The short version we used to have at the assembly ground, because one of the biggest things that was being pushed at the time where we were growing up was religious tolerance and, unity, right, in our diversity. So first of all, how well do you have you studied the curriculum, especially the part of the religion that has been going viral? Because I saw a lengthy report, and I was reading through. I said, "Oh, is this really true? Is that the real picture of what is going on with the curriculum right now, especially around religion? And what exactly is it? Why are we having this conversation, Self?"
First of all, I just want people to understand that many people were not even, or I mean, individuals and groups, they are not even asked to put their input in that curriculum. If actually they did so, you find out that the factual thing about, or that is all around the curriculum now, it has to be looked into cognizant with the regions that we have in this country. You know, in the north, the context of that curriculum may not be as good to the southern part of the country, especially when we're talking about the eastern part of the country, where we have less Muslim there, but we have much Christians and ATR there. So by and large, what I'm trying to say here is that the curriculum should not be centrally on Nigeria as a whole, but I think it's better for us to have it regionally, though we are not practicing that regional system of government here. But even at that, let's take note as an example. I'm from Plateau State. The kind of religious intolerance I have, or tolerance I have on the plateau, is different from the one that I may have either in Kano or Sokoto. So therefore, I think religious organizations, they should be on the table, not just somebody representing somebody somewhere, to talk about the core value of human living, human life, especially religion, is something very sensitive. And even at that, I can be a Muslim. Yes, I'm a Muslim, but what type of Muslim I am? I mean, the sect I come from. Am I a Sunni, Shia? You understand? So these are the things that people should understand. When we're talking about religion generally, I think people should know that in every religion we have different sects. By having different sects, we are building our followers in every religion to understand more the ideology of the sects we are following. That is the dogma. So in Islam, we call it the Aqidah. Most people or most religious groups, they emphasize more about the dogma of their own religion rather than the general learning or teaching of the religion entirely. So now, where we can have a lacuna in those kind of a situation is I cannot use the Sunni overshadowing the Shiite, or the Shiite, even the Sunni. We have the Derika, we have the Izala. Even in the realm of the Izala, we have the Izalas that are now saying that we are playing our, giving our allegiance or playing our allegiance to the Sheikh Sani Hayat Jingir, for instance, or rather we can say, I am now taking my own allegiance, my loyalty to Sheikh Abdullah Balalau. Maybe I can be a Catholic as a Christian, and I can be an Eco as a Christian. So I think what is embedded in that curriculum, to me, is not bringing about unity. So also, some people will look at it as if those people around that build that curriculum, I am telling you, many people are not represented. I mean, many religious sects are not represented.
So I mean, I hear you, and I thank you for breaking down even the intricate nature of what is going on within the Islamic religion as well, different sects, right, where people are claiming allegiance to different people. Now, the challenge I'm having is because Nigeria's religious diversity often translates into a lot of political sensitivity, right? Because if we the way we know it, the north is predominantly Muslim, while the southern part, like you rightly alluded, is more Christian. And, you know, this divide has made religion, right, or religious education highly politicized. So given this background, right, shouldn't there be a standard? Because we truly cannot represent everybody, right? If we want to go by,
of course.
Because if you want to really represent everybody in religion, the traditional worshippers will be there. The ones that go to CNS, cherubim and seraphim will be there. The ones that are Pentecostal, the one that are Mountain of Fire, the one that is whatever, the one that is Catholic. Then in the Islam, like all the sects you have mentioned too, all of those people, they must see a representation of them in that curriculum. So now,
of course,
because that might not be possible, how would the government have approached this curriculum? Because now, let me read something. Because one of the concerns that I saw, they said the issues with the curriculum is on page 17 and 46 of the religious and national value curriculum for primary 1 to 3. Now, these are primary school students, right? It says, on page 17, under theme Islamic Studies and sub-theme Sarah and Tahib, primary 1 to 3 pupils in their formative years are taught the supremacy of Prophet Muhammad and the Quran over others. That Muhammad was the seal of all prophets sent to the world, and Quran and final guidance to Allah's of Allah to mankind. Then they now went down to 46, page 46, right? It says in page 46 of the same book produced by our taxpayers' money, this was a write-up by someone who says who include Muslim and non-Muslim. It says that Prophet Isa, that is known to Christians as, of course, Jesus Christ, is not the Son of God, and that Jesus was not crucified. So this person is saying, what a blasphemy. The implications are the creation of a sense of supremacy of Islam over the faiths and the completely denigrating Christianity. So the reason I'm reading this part is that there has to be a balance. What we were taught when we were growing up, there is a Prophet Muhammad that we respect. There's also Isa that we respect, right? And everybody understood how it is interpreted in both religious, what's it called, books, be it the Quran or the Bible. We understood it, and it was interpreted in our curriculum exactly that way, right? So when the curriculum
Yeah.
is being taught, we are able to see from the Muslim's perspective and respect it, same way we do the same to the Christian perspective and respect it. So why is this even happening?
Good. Religion is a value. What we're talking about value here is that every book, either Bible or Quran, have an absolute statement. But for instance, in Islam, every Muslim believes that it is as stated in the Quran that there is no any other religion except Islam. It is a verse in the Quran. And now when you come down to the Bible also, there is an absolute statement telling us that nobody can go to the Father unless he pass through who? Jesus Christ,
Through
like in the
Christ,
book of
yeah.
John. Christ. So now it's now telling us that if you are not a Muslim, you are not with the true religion as claimed by the Muslims. And if you are not a Christian also, as claimed, you cannot see the Father. So, but since we are looking for a kind of a balance here now, there are many passages both in the Quran and the Bible that to me, they serve as a common ground, whereby we can focus on those one, because we are trying to inculcate certain values, norms, you understand, to these children, the pupils in the school. So what do we do is, first of all, trying to tell them that it is good for us to have a religion. And if you are a Muslim, there are a special and critical tenets that should go with them. Like you rightly mentioned when you are talking, you say, like the primary 1 to 3 students, they should know about the Sirah. Sirah is just telling you about the history, of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then the Tawheed, that is the central theology of the religion, to believe in the oneness of God. Nobody can harm you, nobody can enrich you except God. And nothing will happen to you centrally except God wills that to happen to you, either good or bad. That's what we call the qadr. So that is all what they want them to know. But at that level, I can say yes, before they become adult, they should know the foundation of that religion. But one good thing that I want people to understand is this. Now the world generally is a secular place. When people are growing, they begin to think, am I actually doing the right thing? Or let me just copy from somebody who actually inspired me. That person might be from the same religion with you or from the other religion. And that's why sometimes we used to have converts. Somebody can leave his own religion to another religion. But that is too sensitive when we are going to handle it, especially in the north here. Because in Islam, it's a great blasphemy for somebody to leave his religion as Islam to go to another religion. So we used to have striking issues about that one. But by and large, if I am 40, if I am 25, if I am 50, I decided to do that. It means I'm not taught in the class to do that. You understand? Even the curriculum cannot talk to me about that one, because at that time or at that age, I might be out of school. Or I've grown so far in that I can understand my left and right. But now the bone of contention here is that curriculum, primary students.
I think it is the fact that they are in primary school, because these are formative years. At that stage, their mind is malleable. Because a lot of Christians are accusing the government of attempting to water down Christianity, right? Or force Christian students, to learn Islamic content, which is not a problem, because I think, if you ask me, I would say it any day, anytime. It is best that you are taught so that you can respect another person's choices. If somebody chooses, you understand, to say, this is the person I want to serve, they should be respected, But I understand some religions, like you rightly said, they have very weak tolerance for things like that, or zero tolerance for, those kind of things. But the bottom line is, at that formative years, right, the best the curriculum should have just done was put it as it is in the, you understand, in the both books, holy books, right? So if if the Christians say that Christ is the Son of God, and he's the way to heaven, let it be like that. That is how you should teach it in the curriculum. You shouldn't change it and make it, so that is, I think that is where the problem is. That's what people are complaining about. That is where the problem lies.
Yeah, but I think, as I rightly said, conflict of identity, I am telling you, is very sensitive, especially when we are talking about religion. That's why I keep on saying that religion is a value. It's something that we hold it dear to our hearts. So now trying to throw in this thing in the mind and the brains of these children that are at the age of formation, I am telling you, we are going to make it a little bit a kind of a radical kind of an approach to that. Why? Today, you now tell me that Christ is God. You understand? And now you now say that Prophet Isa alayhi salam is just a mere messenger. The same child, the same people in the same school, they have two different beliefs. Do you get me? How can they assimilate?
There will always be disunity and disagreements.
Yes, because they are left with no choice. You understand? And their brain cannot tell them that, no, maybe this is what Muslims are looking at it. No, this is how Christians are looking at it. Look at the age. If it is something that you can now, okay, take it to the university. I think it's something is going to be manageable. Things that are going to be manageable. But at that age, to me, it's too hazardous to even put it there. I think it should be silenced if honestly it's going to do more harm. That's what I'm thinking.
So but are you suggesting that they probably leave out religious studies completely from the curriculum, or push it maybe to when the child is a bit mature enough to be able to handle and manage the information? Is that what you're suggesting?
As an individual, I would love to say that every religion, they know how to train their children.
Absolutely. We used to go to I attended some of those. It's like, what do they call the school now? Boko. I forget the name now.
Madrasa or Islamia.
Islamia, yes. We go to those schools.
Islamia or Madrasa. You understand? So, like, at that level, that formative age, let the parents and the clergies in that setting to take responsibility of what is going to happen there. You understand? But when they get to secondary school, maybe JS 1 to 3, they cannot begin to say, okay, what can we do now? Let's teach this children about tolerance, about religion. They can put it as a kind of civic education subject, whereby they say, okay, you should know about religion. So whatever religion do you want to read? Maybe let them give them a kind of overview of all of the religion that the government will want them to know. You know, in this country, I think the most pronounced religions that we have, I think, is the Christianity, Islam, and the ATR, African traditional religion. Even at that, a child who has been through training of the religion, the rudiment of the religion, right from his parent, going to the madrasa, the Sunday school, and all these things, they still have a kind of strong belief and hold to their unbelief. So taking them to the secondary school level, I think they can start saying that, okay, we should just learn about other religions in order to appreciate them. You understand? Now trying to bring a kind of injecting a kind of tolerance and the social cohesion in that setting. But as an individual, if we cannot have a common ground to these students from that level, at that level, I think it's better we go
we just expunge
or
it.
we go silent
Abdul
completely.
Hamid,
Yeah.
I think what you're
Yes.
trying, I get you. So it's better every
Yeah.
parent is saddled with training your child, with the religious.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I think at that age, you understand? For any reason.
But wait. Shouldn't the government just have, at least just consulted with Islam clerics and Christian
Lyrics,
what's it called, clerics? Shouldn't they have just
Clerics,
consulted to say, are these good to go? At least, you see, the truth is that there is no Christian right now that you say that Christ is the Son of God, right? That they will argue with. Even if we have our differences
No.
in our doctrines, in our how we practice the religion, there are some things that are just standard and sacrosanct. So if you want to then teach it, it should be like that. So you can just say to the Muslims, this is what the Christians claim. They claim it is for educational purpose, right? The Christians claim that they have to go to heaven through one person, which is when they accept, the Son of God as their Lord and personal Savior. That is how a balanced report will be. So you are educating the child that this is what their beliefs are. But let what it is that you are reporting be how the Christians see it, not completely switching things. But you know what? Let's go on a break. When we come back from that break, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
All right, thanks for staying tuned. Now, if you just tuned in, we're having a very sensitive but important conversation, and that's religion and the curriculum. And we're asking, where do we find or strike the balance? And I have an amazing guest, Abdul Hamid. He's with me. Please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Send us an SMS, WhatsApp, leave us a message on our YouTube link. SMS and WhatsApp line is 081-803-84663. You can also call us 07025 007749 or 07014242420. So, I mean, Abdul Hamid, you just want to run. You know what, Wahala? I say, let the parents train their children. Because in fairness to what you have said, yes, in fairness to what you have said, every serious parent is either you're going to a church or you're taking your children to the mosque, and they're also having like extra classes in the religious houses, the various religious houses. So technically they will be trained there. But you see, because we have always talked about the importance of education, right? And history. Because it's not only even religion that we have a problem with. History and religion. It's important that as much as, yes, we want to leave the responsibilities to those parents, to be able to train their children and teach them the religion, when they are being taught in school, at least the least you can do is just teach them how it is reported by the people that practice those religion. Because I feel like it is almost going to be, I know, I mean, I've lived in the north, right? There are some things that is considered blasphemy. There are some things you cannot even say right? It is going to cause a lot of tension, religious tension, just by the certain statements that you make. Even when selecting this topic this evening, I had to be very careful because, again, I understand the sensitivity of how,
Yeah.
yes, my fellow Islamic brothers and sisters, how they take the religion very dear to their heart. So how do you now see this, and now not think that it's going to trigger some things? So I mean, as a way to move forward, right? What should we be demanding the government to do? Because this curriculum is out there, whether we choose it, whether we like it or not. How do we move forward from this?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that government are doing this, because this is not the first time. This is not the only avenue that government are doing things that are not beneficial to the citizens. Even though we are talking about religion now, and it's quite unfortunate to say that we cannot differentiate between the politicians now and the religious clergies now. And it is quite unfortunate. I'm saying this with a kind of a heavy heart, because the action and the inaction of some of these clergies, honestly, is really in romance with what actually the politicians are doing. But I am a person who always see that we must move forward. Moving forward, not just moving forward, I mean moving into the right direction. So had it been that they did the homework very well, I think they cannot just produce this thing and make it become something official unless and until they make it so viral for people to comment, to correct, to amend certain things. But since government is always government, I believe that religion is something very sensitive. By the time that when they begin to see the damage, maybe not this government, maybe another government will come and ask that, okay, this thing is doing more harm than good to the fragile peace tolerance that we have in this country, especially the region I come from, the North. I agree with you 100%. There are little things that you can do in the North is a blasphemy. The Muslims, we believe that there is a red line that you can go and you cannot cross when it comes to the Islam, particularly about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even though some people are approaching it in such a way that they are so root to that, because even in Islam there are certain Sharia that it needs fair hearing, and there are people who are stipulated to carry out whatever kind of Sharia penalty on whosoever blaspheme. We have the judges that they can interrogate, they can investigate, you understand? But most of the time, the hoodlums used to take over and kill a person or maim a person or destroy life and properties. I know, as a Muslim, this is not exactly how the teaching is taken. We have the Sharia law, yes, and we have judges, you understand, who are saddled with the responsibility of saying that, okay, you are guilty. Yeah, how do you say this? Maybe I can say something, but I didn't mean it. I can say something out of ignorance. You understand? There are statements that to us, when we say it, is normal. But when we say it to another person, it's a problem. Okay, now, from the North, when you say Aboki is just a friend, you understand? But when you go to down south, derogatory, you understand?
Yeah.
So now it is contextual.
Yes.
But by and large, the government, I think they are trying to see that as Nigerians to be more religious all the time, but less spiritual. Let me put it that way. We are always too religious. But when it comes to spirituality, believe me, we are very poor about that. But can we actually separate politics and religion?
It's impossible because these are weapons that a lot of politicians use all the time to create division and to
Good.
just get their way. But I mean, Abdulhamid, there's something you said that I would like us to just quickly happen, because one of the biggest concern, let's even just say, okay, let us accept this curriculum that they have put together. One of the most important
Yes.
things that is supposed to happen is to ensure that both religions are taught in every single school. But unfortunately, you and I know that that is not the case, because hardly would you find Christian religious studies teachers in the North, same as you will not find the Islamic religious studies teachers in the South, right? So, I mean,
Yeah. Yes.
because if you really want to then teach it, at least mandate the schools to have qualified teachers that are guaranteed of their safety. Because honestly, I will not go to Zamfara, for instance, to say I want to go and teach CRS. For what? It means that I'm the target if anything happens. Do you get my point? So literally,
Yeah.
can we just take religion out of this matter? Because I think it's just too sensitive, you know. Maybe because I have been through several Sharia crises in Kaduna, and I've seen how people were unalived in the most brutal ways. So, and it was just because of religious disagreement. So the thing is just rubbing off on me wrongly. But if at all you want to even say, okay, let us accept this curriculum, how are they planning to ensure that there is a representation, a balanced representation in the classrooms? Meaning that every single school must have both an IRS and a CRS teacher. How are they planning to do that? Do we have the resources for that?
It's not a matter of resources. I mean, what type of resources? Is it the human resources,
Yeah,
or
human.
is it just the human resources? Okay. On that note, you rightly paved a way to this discussion by telling me that, okay, now it's okay for me as you are now to go to Zamfara and start teaching Ariki. To who? You ask this question, really? And actually it's something that you should know. Where are you going? What are you going to do? To whom are you going to do that thing to? Is it something that is going to be something of priority there? You understand? Now, let us be sincere to ourselves. Nigeria, whether we like it or not, we know our composition. We know our composition. So I think to some extent, I don't want to shroud my sentiments toward what we are discussing here. I don't know whether because as a Muslim, I find it so when it's easy for me because I'm looking for a balance to impact so much in the community. I now decide to go to seminar. Maybe that is why I'm not taking it to partner. But by and large,
Oh, wow.
the age grade is my concern. Why is it that we are not taking it right from the student? I mean, the people from the primary 1, 2, 3. You know, they are too fragile for this kind of thing. But I think whatever we now learn from our parents, things we learn in our community, in our society, especially when it has to do with value, the cultural part aspect of it, you know, the way we have been taking it from our parents, from the parent of our parents, they are sending it down, they are inculcating it into our head. Then we can let the religion to go through that computation, you know, as well as the culture and the tradition of the people. You know, the culture is another thing that people used to hold it so dear to their heart. I think, why can't we use the same mode, the same method? We leave it to happen like this. Okay, now, why can't they tell us that, okay, for every Nigerian should do the Bali, you understand, to signify that he is respecting the elders, or you can squat, you understand? Why are they not talking about that one? Why is it they are talking about religion? The reason to me is a selling point to politicians.
Yeah.
You understand? Before the curriculum to be presented, do we have problem with that? Even if we have problem with that, it's not as clear and so obvious. Like now it becomes an issue because there is a charter, there is a kind of a document that is going to be used in order to show a kind of direction. But I am somebody who is so pessimistic in life. I believe there is always a way. So the way is for me as an individual, and I know people are listening to us. Maybe there are other millions of Nigerians who have the same idea. They have the same idea with what in line with what I'm saying. But our voices were not heard, and we are not consulted. For the clergies, as you mentioned earlier, the government should bring them together. Okay, from where? When you say, okay, we should bring Khan, we should bring
There's a lot of
JNI,
confusion.
Jamaat Nasrul Islam. When we bring them, you are bringing only the Sultan, and you are bringing only one person. Okay, now, the Sultan may happens to be not a Sunni. If he happens to be Sunni, he might be Darika, he might not be Izala. Okay, when we not go back to the Khan, maybe the chairman of Khan, national chairman, this time around, may be from Pentecostal. The other time, you understand, maybe from the Catholic or Anglican. So, please, what color? What exactly are we selling? You know, there is a way that we need to address this thing. If every religion, either Christians or Muslims, they have what we call ecumenism. Ecumenism in the sense that all denominations under one religion, they should come together and bring out what exactly should be done to use it as a document that they can, as a body, is now tendering it to the federal government. And the same thing should go to the JNI to have all the sects under Islamic religion to come with a factual things. I mean, things that they are so binding. You understand? Not about dogma, to present it as a charter to the government. So when they now bring them together to put them in romance, then okay, now, what are we going to do? If we present it this way, Christians are going to be what? Demued. Christians are going to be what? Misinterpreted. Christians are going to, or Islam is going to be seen as a thing of caricature. You understand? So at that note, they should say, okay, is this something that we actually want to do? Maybe why can't we just suspend some? You understand? At this level, and bring the one that will bring unity. You understand? So we should always focus and look into the commonality. You understand? Not just where we have the differences. Okay, now for instance, when you are going through the Christian book, sacred book, when you are going to the first 5 books of the Old Testament, which is named the Pentateuch, you find out that as if you are.
Oh, did we lose Abdul Hamid?
Let's move together, because as a mosaic religion, you know, the charter of the Torah. So almost all what we have in the Old Testament, we have the replica with slight difference in the Quran. The distinction we used to have is the New Testament. Who is Christ? What is his position to Muslims? And what is his position to the Christian? Okay, why can't we just use it as a history book that we can teach the students? Just for you to know that there is somebody who got sent, there is somebody who happens to be God, his name is this, that is where he comes from, and that is what he's supposed to do, just as a way of history. Not just to make it as part of the curriculum regarding the religion. I think it's even better for them to take it there. But the moment that the children, they are above the formative stage or age, you understand, where they can have a lot of materials to get informations. When they now get the informations and they now see that is it in conformity with what their parent has been teaching them regarding the religion in the Sunday school or in the Islamia, I think it's better. But to me, I love to say that I have religion. But if my religion, people will not understand me more, and it's going to bring chaos, I think I should do it in my own comfort zone.
Without having to put it in the faces of other people.
We have a lot of things that we can take it as a national issue. To me, not a religion.
Not religion. Thank you so much. I think, Abdul Hamid, you've really done justice to the conversation. And thank you so much for your time. Yeah, unfortunately, we've run out of time. But thank you so much, Abdulhamid. You did justice to the conversation, and I hear you loud and clear, right? It is important that we know when something is being politicized and used as a tool. There's supposed to be a lot of research that would have gone into this curriculum before even releasing the curriculum, because now what it's just doing, it seems like it's breeding, an unnecessary tension that shouldn't even be in the first place. But Abdulhamid, you've been an amazing guest. Thank you for your time this evening. So, I mean, in Nigeria's diverse religious landscape, education serves as a powerful tool to either bridge divides or, of course, deepen them. Striking a balance between religion and curriculum is very essential to nurturing mutual respect, tolerance, national unity, and by ensuring that religious education respects constitutional freedom, maintains impartial, and accommodates the needs of all faith, Nigeria can build a more inclusive and a peaceful society. Ultimately, a balanced curriculum that promotes understanding rather than division would empower students to appreciate their own beliefs more, while respecting those of the beliefs of others that might not be in agreement with their own beliefs. I mean, it's just for you to respect somebody else. I mean, I don't think it's that difficult. But hey, this is where we draw the curtain for the evening. Thank you so much again for watching. Please remember to share the links, like, share, invite families, friends to watch and follow the conversation. As always, if you missed the quote for the day, here it is. It says, I'm looking for my quote. It says, the aim of education is not to make every child the same, but to teach them to understand and respect difference, including religious difference. I think this is very apt. All right, again, Chioma is going to see you tomorrow. Please enjoy the rest of your evening.